Hello, everyone. How's it going? We are back and we are live, right? Go ahead and start recording, Ryan, and we'll get right to our awesome interview with Dave Walters. I'm saying it's going to be awesome because, it will
It
be.
already is.
You got to project that out there into the world.
It's in there.
You do. You have to declare your intent. Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
And I'm going to say words to attempt to make it awesome.
It is. It's already. Do you notice I'm already sitting up straighter?
Exactly. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, we had a little exchange there where I explained to them how amazing it is to be on the official D&D Twitch channel. This is a high watermark, and I'd just like to say, folks, gamers, if I can be sitting here having this conversation with these people right now, anyone can. Believe me, don't give up.
It's true.
It's true. It's a very low bar. You say you want to be on Dragon Talk, and you'll be on Dragon Talk.
That's it. You might have to make a couple other appearances first, but it can be done. That's all I'm saying.
I think you're selling yourself pretty short.
Yeah.
In that your resume is pretty amazing.
I was kind of geeking out when I did a little research on you. Like, ooh.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've been fortunate. It's been I kind of been participating in this space for a while. Actually, I have to give one little disclaimer before we start.
Sure.
I adopted 2 cats exactly a week ago. 10 days ago.
So
Yeah.
you're new. You're
Cats
new to this.
love Dragon Talk.
I'm very new to the cat thing, and they acclimated to the family maybe 2 days ago, where they're like, "Oh, okay, we love you now."
Yeah.
So maybe 30 seconds before we went live, my little girl just rolled up and was just like, "I'm gonna rub all over the mic," and I was like, "Please don't." And then she's like, "I'm just gonna plop in your lap," and I'm like, "Well, okay." So if I look down periodically with mild horror, it's because I'm getting my legs kneaded.
Yes.
My little cat claws.
Very, very sharp ones.
We get it. Cats always
Yeah.
make an appearance on Dragon Talk.
I know when we were talking to Lisa Chen, right?
Yeah, it was a constant,
her cat kept on, not just on the lap, she was walking right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And kept being like, "Oh, plop it down," and then would get right back up, and then eventually she just gave up, and it was like, "I'm just gonna pet the cat here on the Skypes."
Well, I skipped straight to that. I'm petting her now, hoping I've immobilized her. I have her in a grappled condition right now to speak the language of the people.
Oh, I appreciate you doing that.
I don't know how long it's going to last.
Always got to segue back to the D&D as much as you can.
You're good.
There it is.
You're good.
But you've got an awesome premiere this week, right? For Inkwell Society with Maze Arcana.
Yes, we had our first session last Wednesday. We're going for episode 2 this Wednesday. It's Inkwell Society is our Eberron game, which is on twitch.tv/Maze Arcana. We're playing level 0 characters.
Love it.
Zero.
It doesn't get much squissier than that. I pointed out that an angry barmaid with a rolling pin is capable of a TPK for all of us, like more like,
or even just a hateful word or a grimace.
We are vulnerable to harsh language. Yes, like, yeah. And I don't just mean like cutting words could kill any one of us. I mean just like what are you even doing here? We're like,
we don't know.
Yeah.
Can you actually be level 0?
Well, I mean, I think I was talking to Rudy about this, and it's all about you guys coming up with like your classes,
like being born,
and what you do right as the sessions are happening, which is super fascinating.
Yes, it is going to be decision-based leveling. So, like, the things we do in the game and the actions we take will, like, dictate our career paths. That you can't theoretically be just, I don't know, like this burly in everybody's face brawler hitting people with 2x4s, and then when we level, say, "I'm a wizard now." It's like, well, no, you're not. Yeah, you're not.
Can't just do that.
Your past
it's interesting.
Is your past.
It is very different from what I'm accustomed to, but I'm enjoying the challenge. Yeah, definitely.
Right, because you can't really go in with any preconceived notions or like, I guess it removes the metagaming a little bit, right? So you can't be like, or you'll be the healer and you'll be the wizard. Like you kind of have to do it through play, which I don't know, that's really neat.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, and he's been very adamant that we not discuss our classes, that we not think ahead. And I'm the dude. I'm a min-max. I'm the guy that when the campaign starts, I map my character trajectory from like 1 to 20. Like I already know. It's like at level 4, I'm taking this feat. At level 9, I'll have this ability. Like I'm that dude. So to have it be like just show up and see what happens, I'm like, oh, okay.
But just show up and you don't know who you're, like what class you would end up being? It's just kind of like all of a sudden I pointed and like a magic missile came out of my hand.
Well, again, we've only had one session, and I know that he's got a grand plan that has not been revealed yet. And somewhere off in the distance, I hear his teeth grinding as I'm misstating things. But my understanding of it is, what we did is we came up with fairly elaborate and intricate backstories about who we are, where we came from, what we've been through, why we're in Sharn. So that is kind of informing who we are and who we like show up in episode 1 as. But in terms of like our classes and skills and all of that stuff, yeah, it's going to be dictated by the decisions we make. Yeah,
I like that a lot because you can't.
Cool.
It's harder to play against type, I guess. Because you have to very much make the conscious decision that this is what my character would do in this moment. But like, yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I'm like with you at some point where like I plan out a little bit where things are going to go, at least in the next couple of levels. Maybe not all 20 like you, but like this is the concept for my guy or my girl, right? And not having that control, that's I don't know. I mean, it's risky.
It's extremely risky, and in fact, it was funny because we had our first episode, and you should watch it if you haven't watched it yet. The VOD is up on twitch.tv/MazeArcana.
Yeah.
But we definitely run into an altercation. And I went back and I watched the stream because I always watch any stream that I'm on and I read all the comments. Which is funny because, when I write things, I never read the comments. But like performance things, I always do. I don't know why. It's like it's different in my brain somehow.
Shelly's the exact opposite.
I've never heard one episode of Dragon Talk. Ever. I don't even know if it's a real thing.
It's not. We just make you come in here.
If afterwards, if you like, I could give you some notes, Shelly.
Oh God! From you, I might take them.
No, you're doing fantastic, and it's beautiful. But we definitely run into this. We run into an altercation. And in chat, they were like, "Oh, they're gonna smash these people," and on the inside, I'm like, "I don't think we are." And watching like chat slowly realize like what this is and who we are was a really interesting situation.
Oh man!
Now, are these people that you have played D&D with before, or is this group a new group together?
I had never rolled dice with anyone in this group. So there is me, B. Dave Walters. There's Satine Phoenix, friend of the show. There is Kai Norman, Sig Neutron, Nora Ibrahim, and Kyle Vogt. And I knew Satine from Geek and Sundry, and Rudy's DM, of course. I can't leave him out. As the ambient world of the voice of the universe, Rudy Wood. So I knew Satine from Geek and Sundry, and the first time that I met most of this crew was at Chair D20 a little while back.
Right.
So because we kind of got connected, because I have a show on Geek and Sundry called Ask Your Black Geek Friend, and that I'm co-host of. And while
which is
I'm
an
plugging
awesome show,
things,
by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I saw it.
And I'm also on We're Alive Frontier on Project Alpha while I'm naming things. But Rudy and Satine's book came out, and I'd messaged Satine because I'd just seen her around the studio. We hadn't even done anything together. I mean, she's very hard to miss. She's colorful and beautiful and wonderful. So I messaged her, and I just asked her, like, would you like me to promote your book on our show, Xanathar's Lost Notes?
Yeah.
Available now on DM Skill.
Nice.
It's seamless. It's seamless, right? So she was like, "Yeah, absolutely, please do." And so I got on the show. I talked about how great it was, how much I love D&D, and I clipped it out and I sent it to her afterwards. And she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. In fact, we're doing this thing coming up soon. Maybe you'd like to be a part of it." And that was Chair D20. And I went and I played, and that was actually my first time getting to game on stream. I've been role-playing, especially D&D, since I was 13.
Wow.
Which is a lot longer ago than I would like to admit. But I've been doing it for years, but my introduction to the streaming space was Talk. So that was the first time I got to play on stream, and I really did my best, and I think I did all right, and I must have done okay, because I've gotten asked to do some things since then, so yeah.
Cool.
So how was it? Was it like? How is it different from just gaming or just talking?
It is incredibly different because I can tell you this right now. vaguely, unfortunately. 'Cause we're working on another show at Geek and Sundry, which is another gaming based show.
Yeah.
And so we've been playing the game, right? And we're playing the game and we're having a great time. And I mean, we're throwing candy at each other. I mean, like everything that you would see in like a commercial about what game night is supposed to look like. Like we're really doing that. and then we get to the end of it and we're like, yeah, but that won't work on Twitch. Like what we just did would be awful to watch because people are yelling and they're jumping up and things. So you definitely have to be mindful of two things. You have to be mindful of what it's like for someone to watch what you're doing, because like inside jokes, and Greg and I nerding out about the stickers on his laptop. I mean, that's fun for us, but that's not necessarily fun for an audience. Right. So that's one thing to be aware of. And the other thing is you have to be aware of like your limitations, because even right now, if we're talking, if I'm like, okay, so I sneak up like this. You're like, no, not that.
Nobody can see you when you're off camera. Yeah.
Don't do that thing. Yeah, but besides that, then it's pretty much the same thing. I think if you take every game you've played at the table and you try and extract all of your like detours and non sequiturs and jokes that you start talking about and rambling about Netflix, which I mean, in my experience, is a pretty good chunk of game night because it's just as much about hanging out with your friends as playing the game.
Right.
So you have to extract all of that, and then it's like the distilled essence of game night.
It's like a heightened version. That's what I always try to like. It's like you're a little bit on, you're a little bit performing for it. There still can be some crosstalk and some joking around, but it has to be like, you're on, right? So it feels very different than just being around a table and joking and having no I don't know, not importance, but no like performance aspect of it. Which, but yeah, as soon as you get those cameras on, it has to be like this is an entertainment in addition to it being entertaining to just play the game.
Yeah, we just did a couple of weeks ago. We did the anniversary stream where we played in the Critical Role campaign setting.
Yeah, and
that was interesting because they set it up as 3-hour sessions. No, it was 3-4-hour sessions. Well, it was the entire day. No, it was three 3-hour sessions with a break in between. Where it was a group, 3 different groups of players played the same group of characters at different levels. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So one group was them at level 1, one group was them at level 6, and we were them at level 10.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, living in the world with like the repercussions of the things that they done earlier.
It's just and like we were life.
Kind of just like life.
I am still dealing with 10-year-old Shelley's idiotic choices.
You made some bad calls.
Dead.
But you made some good ones though, because look where you are. Look gaze around the room, Shelley. Yes, starting from the bottom. Now we're here. Yes, absolutely.
Should have worn sunscreen though. I'm not gonna lie.
But that was also a very interesting play experience because Eric and Ryan Green and it's funny, I'm so used to just looking Eric in the eye and just saying, Eric, show up tomorrow, Eric. And I'm running through the last name of every Eric I know, and I can't think of his.
Eric the Red.
Sorry, Eric. Yeah,
Eric Roberts.
Well, I would say like Eric Tall. It's funny, but like I'm like 6'9", if you haven't seen him, like freaky ginormous. Like, you can see at the beginning of our Inkwell Society intro video. Like I'm gigantic. Like I count as I'm a variant human.
That like superhero lineup shots of you guys, you are definitely the tallest. That's why you have to be like the gangly halfling, wizard.
Exactly. Like just play exactly against time. Like aha, smoke bomb. Yeah. But the people are always like, Eric, the tall guy, and I'm like, I'm afraid I need you to be more specific. I don't. Eric Campbell. Eric
That's
Campbell.
It. Eric Campbell.
I love you dearly, Eric Campbell.
8-bit Eric.
But when you just talk to your bros, like you're not like, hello, Greg Tito.
Well,
we are.
Actually, in this day and age, I get referred to by Tito a lot. Yeah. Mostly because there was another Greg here when I started.
Until you killed him.
The amazing Greg Bilsland, and then I killed him and took his essence.
Well, there can be only one.
It's true.
Eric played the character at level 1, and then Eric actually ran the campaign for session 2, and Ryan Green played the character in session 2, and then Sax Carr ran the campaign for session 3, and I was the character in session 3. And it's funny because Eric played him, he's a half-orc paladin, and Eric played him like this kind of like British dockhand dude. And then Ryan played him like this PTSD gritty Avenger guy. And then I came along, and I just looked at it, and I was like, what does high charisma and low intelligence look like? And I was like, he'll just be like a good version of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. And I was very boisterous and, oblivious. And it was neat to kind of like be able to interpret the character through the lens of what they'd done, but still try and take it in the way that I wanted to go. Not to get too inside the actor studio there. And,
You're talking to two former theater majors.
Where's my stack of blue cards that I need to start asking you questions?
That's how we should set up the studio.
It's true.
With James Lipton, yeah. And then two of the characters apparently had... so when we got there, Sam DeLev rolls up to us, and Sam is like, she wants to Kelly Lynn and I. And she's like, I think your two characters are in love. And we were like, this seems legit because our characters ended up in love last time we played. So we were like, sure, absolutely, we're in love. And 6 months had passed between their session and our session. So we started out with just like, we're together now. Let's go through this. And afterwards, we talked to Ryan and Jody, and they were like, we didn't think that at all. We had no attraction to each other, like, in game. So Sam just, like, Sammed us into, going and doing a new thing. But it worked out.
Smooth matchmaking.
But I like even just the way you're describing him. There's ebbs and flows in every relationship. There's going to be points
Sometimes
where
it just takes a while.
perhaps during their session they were on the outs, or they were exploring different avenues.
They were just friends.
But then you
they
guys
were dating other people.
You reconnected in the third session, right?
Well, if speed taught me anything, there's chemistry in shared trauma, right?
Right.
You can kill a lot of nulls together, and you're like, you're beautiful when your
That's
hair
true.
is tinged.
And you're covered in null blood.
Covered in null blood. Yeah, it's a natural aphrodisiac. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah,
People
yeah, exactly. He
Makes
bottles
a
that
lovely
stuff
rouge.
up. It does. It brings it out.
Brings it out.
It's
Nice.
a natural hallucinogen, yeah.
All I see is gnolls, though. It's just all like howling, and
It could be romantic.
it could be romantic.
I mean, if you're into that, yeah.
So you were, you said you started playing when you were 13.
Just
did.
a few years ago.
Yeah, so that's 3 years ago.
in times long past, yeah. No, I'm substantially older than I look. Like, I might qualify as a lich now. I appreciate
like your
that.
shirt.
Like my shirt.
Yeah, there it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Look out for my people there. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, what was
Also,
that like? How did you start?
The very first game I played was actually. So this is funny. So I was well. You can't say it's funny because now you're gonna hear it and you're like, that's not funny at all. Star Trek the Next Generation was on, and it was my birthday, and my mom took me to this little hobby shop to buy me a gift. And when I was looking around, because I wanted a model of the Enterprise, and I was looking around and I saw a book that was Ninjas and Super Spies, the original Ninjas and Super Spies. So, of course, you're a kid. I'm like, both ninjas and super spies? Absolutely. So, bought the book. But I got it home, and it was a tabletop RPG, but I'm flipping through it, and there's numbers and charts, and I'm like, what is this? It's like a math book. I don't understand it. So, we actually returned it and bought the Enterprise model.
Oh.
Yeah. Years later, I would acquire basically every Ninjas and Super Spies supplement, but I guess technically that was my first brush with tabletop gaming.
How old were you? How old were you then when you did that?
I had to be about 8.
Oh, okay. So it
8,
was
10.
Which is
Yeah.
really
It's a
hard to
math
parse
book.
those early RPG manuals because it was not a lot of images, a lot of type.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And some like pencil sketches, and then like the margin and stuff. Yeah, right. And then all like freaking Spy versus Spy. Yeah, absolutely. So then circle back around a few years later, and I got into Rifts because a buddy of mine, the best friend of my best friend. You know how that works, where you're
Right.
like, we're super bros, but you guys are great, and so like we're always together type
Yeah.
thing. Even though we're not super bros, Shelly, we are.
I know.
Like.
I feel it.
It's official.
Totally.
It's canon. It's canon now.
Yep.
Put it in the wiki. Yes.
It's in the wiki.
He was in the Rifts, and so we started playing that. And another friend of mine was like, you should play, if you like that, you should play D&D. Because I don't know if anybody here remembers the old Rift game. It was like the power creep was insane. Like every book had something that was like so much stronger than the book before it, where it's like basically the game didn't make any sense. And so my other buddy was like, we should play D&D instead. Now, I'm from the South. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
So, yes. So my mom was very much the Dungeons and Dragons. Don't you know what that leads to? You know, that.
That was my mom.
She knew Mrs. Tito.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, but I was at the proper age that I was like, oh, it leads there? Absolutely.
I've been trying to get there.
Yeah. Let's see where this is. Yeah, let's see where this goes. Yeah.
Oh, wait, so she thought it led to, like, sex and drugs and not to the devil worship, because that's where my mom immediately went to, where it was like, you're going to lose your soul.
Right, exactly.
All right.
You're like everything's negotiable, Mom. You know, let's just see what's being offered. Right?
I'll be able to get it back through adventuring. That's just how it goes.
It's just role playing.
Trust me, you're like a redemptive arc is good drama.
Exactly. Just like your stories, Mom.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're gonna love this. It's gonna pay off. And hey, Mom, Tito, it paid off. See?
Yeah.
Look, it paid off.
Here I am.
She still doesn't know where Greg works.
I've kept it secret for 3 years.
She think you're still in North Carolina.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm a priest. I'm a priest, Mom, I swear.
Yeah. You're like perhaps a cleric.
Yeah.
A holy representative, yes.
Every Sunday we gather together and roll dice.
True. Yeah.
Yachts.
You're like we smite the wicked. That's what I do for a living, Mom.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like a Constantine reboot starring you. It's beautiful.
I need to take up smoking again.
So and then I got my first player's handbook. I still have it. When like the seams used to fall apart and got all ratty on the end, like I can calculate THAC0. I can calculate Zinbar's lift gates. Yeah, the kids, they don't know how easy they've got it.
No,
dude, THAC0 was so hard. You were like, wait, why is this backwards but forwards? And
yes, 1800 strength. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Oh, yeah.
So were you a fighter back then? Would you play as a fighter? Did you get those bonuses?
You may recall me saying I was a min-maxer. I was the fighter mage thief.
Wow.
So I was largely useless for big chunks of the story until it all kind of like clicked. But the game was so much harder then, which is funny because I was about to say the game was so much harder because like as a wizard, you had to start with like 1d4 hit points and things like that.
Yeah.
Except I'm playing in a game now where I started with 4 hit points. So, maybe I was just soft back then. At least that guy could cast spells and stuff.
Right, one spell once a day.
One spell once a day. Make it count, right? Yeah. Make it count.
Do that magic method, that sleep. Just sleep. Put them to sleep.
Oh, no, they missed. Now, we may have discovered the origin of my hatred of gnolls, like a missed sleep spell at the wrong time, and then everything else went wrong.
It all came from there.
That's
all right.
it.
So you were a min-max. So you got man. So that took forever for you to level. Is that basically what you're saying?
Man, yeah, it did. Yes, it did. In fact, I had a character who was a fighter mage thief who was based on Vampire Hunter D, which I thought was the most profound thing ever. So the big hat and the big sword, and I mean, I was like so cool. You couldn't tell me anything. And then after that, I played a blade singer for a long time. Ooh. And I think in my heart, like fighter mage is where I tend to come down. But as like a personal weakness of mine, because my group, because I play in some groups and I DM another group, and I know they're watching right now, and I always go back and forth with one of my players about the fact that it's like I can't give up level 9 spellcasting, like I can't do it, right? Like even though like logically I know what are the odds that this game is going to play that far, they're pretty slim. They're pretty slim that you can go the whole distance.
Yeah, it's like a 2-year, 3-year commitment right there.
Right. Although I did, our group, we went from level 1 to level 20. We did the whole thing.
Wow, really?
I played them all through it. And gave them an epilogue and all that stuff. It was great.
That's impressive.
It took us about 4 years. Wow. Yeah, because you miss a session here and there. Summertime, people are here and there. But we did do it.
That's good.
So even though I'm like logically in 2026, am I gonna have access to like Wish or Miracle? That kind of thing's important to me. So,
God, and the new spells in Xanathar's Guide to Everything for level 9 are awesome. It's like, yeah, you don't want to give those up just on the off chance you'll get there.
Yeah.
just on the off chance, yes. But it's weird. I'm strange though, because I actually hate the leveling process. I hate the leveling process in every game I play.
Why is that?
I like the end game.
Okay.
I like the end game. I like you're fighting gods and demons and dragons and, dare I say, going through dungeons.
Oh.
Wait, so like in like a World of Warcraft or something like that, you don't like the 1 through, well, it's more than 60 now, but like that
Right.
was like less fun than.
You just like playing high level.
I'm the
Yeah.
opposite.
But like like there's some of the the E7 leagues and things like that where you only started level 7 or whatever. I'm
Right.
like, nah, it's not my thing, man. It's not my thing. I enjoy the process in the sense that I enjoy the camaraderie with friends. Like I've definitely made friends, definitely in World of Warcraft, but even D&D, that some of those shared experiences, bond you together. Like that's important.
Right.
And I think it's important to play so that you know what you're doing, because if you just sit down at the table and it's like, here's a max level character, go, well, people are going to be like massively lost. So, I mean, that's important. But if I could sort of like play level 1 through 5 and then get like magically transported to the end game, I'd be that dude.
That'd be
For
pretty
sure.
Well, you
interesting.
could. I mean, who's to say you can't just play your games like that?
Imagination.
It's a game of fantasy. You can just do it.
But that'd be a really
I
interesting
kinda like that.
stream, though, too. Like, kind of even what you were talking
Yeah.
about with the Inkwell Society of doing, like, the introduction. You figured out their origin, and then
Fast forward. I
Fast
want to
forward
see
15 levels.
like a version of D&D
Oh.
leveling like speed dating.
Is
Like,
that?
what's happening?
Uh,
What's happening?
There may be a thing in process. There
Oh.
might be working on a thing.
there's some secrets.
Oh.
No, yeah, I was trying to be coy with my shh.
I thought you were talking to the kitty.
No, I mean also to the cat. Yes, but also to you. And
Oh.
also to the
Well,
people.
I like it. I like it.
Yes.
Make it
there
so.
may be a thing we're working on.
I can't wait. I
Alright.
can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. That's
Well,
gonna be
I have
fun.
a bad I already forgot what we were talking about.
Well,
Where
exactly.
am I?
Perfect.
What? Where? This is a show about cats?
It's a show about cats.
Right.
Yeah, and the
we're
musical.
speed dating cats, Shelley. That's what we're doing. Does it work?
That would be
Does it
awesome.
not work?
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
tell me about the 2 cats and why you chose. Like, why now? Why did you choose just to get 2 cats now?
Are they kittens or cats?
They're 11 months old, so they're technically kittens, but they're gigantic. Like they're huge. They're Bombay cats, which I love. They look like panthers walking around in here, and it's
are
fantastic.
They,
That's
are they
cool.
siblings?
Yes, a brother and a sister.
Oh.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting, Greg Tito?
Did they used to be Tabaxi?
They may still be Tabaxi. I'm working at it,
And then did one of them decide to become like a bounty hunter or something?
Stupid halfling bounty hunter.
Stupid halflings.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I feel that way about halflings in general. Halflings, hobbits, like small furry people. Like no, I'm not a fan of those. No. Mm-mm.
See, but if you can play a cool one, but never
No.
mind. Never mind. I'm not. That,
All right.
that makes me
But-
have to try to be cool, and that's
Well,
not gonna work.
Same thing in Inkwell Society. We have a gnome mob enforcer who is a thorn in our side that I feel will be a thorn in our side for quite a while. And in the back of my mind, I know he could smash us all.
Because you guys are 0.
You gotta-
We are level 0.
One
Yes,
day.
a stiff wind could defeat our entire party. Yes.
And a badass gnome.
Well, I've seen it done. I mean, and there's definitely like characters in the fantasy, like a Tesselhod Burfoot, although I guess he's a Kinder.
Yeah. But basically a
but
halfling. Yeah.
basically halfling. As the internet erupts into flames, the you and I, both of our mentions are gonna be like,
Right.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Margaret Weiss is gonna message me, be like, "No, that's not true," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Like, take it back. Issue an on-air retraction. That is not a thing. Yes.
But they're
I
basically.
will.
the same.
But Kinders are better. Yeah, there you go.
That's
Kinders
true.
are better halflings. So, But yeah, with the cats, well, I have 2 little girls. My kids are 10 and 7,
Oh, cute.
and I wanted to do a pet, and we've dog sat a couple of times, and I deeply love dogs. And my youngest is essentially a druid, again, to speak the vernacular.
Nice.
But she loves animals, like excessively loves them. Like she was the little kid that would walk up to the dog and like squeeze it when she's like 2.
Yeah.
Aw.
And you're like, you don't have consent yet. Ooh. Like
That's the
she's
thing
that
that's
kid.
going to get you bit. Don't
Yep.
do that.
Exactly. I'm like, please don't, because I can't really blame the dog if it bites me. For
Yeah,
that.
right.
Right?
So please
That's what I
just-
tell my son all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not his
And
fault if he bites you.
Right. I'm like, you should not do that. Yeah. So we dog sat a couple times, and it got along great, but it just didn't really fit our schedule with the walking, having to make sure we're home and everything.
Right.
So we were like, well, maybe a cat. And we started researching breeds, and we found out about Bombays. And they're a lot like dogs. They call them Velcro cats, as this cat that was all over me has just exemplified. But they're big, they're friendly, they're pretty. Like, I didn't want a cat that was gonna like stay in the closet all the time.
Right.
Like I was like, I don't want to have to like feed to keep you alive and then be like resented by you.
Yeah.
Well,
and have
that's
like
like
a
most
look.
cats.
They give you that look.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm like, you need me, cat. Come on, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Satine's got 2 cats. I don't want to bust her out too much, but one of them is like a treasure. Like you walk in the door and it's in your face, like hello, person, and the other one is a closet cat like that. So I got to like definitely see both sides.
yeah.
And like last weekend, if you were in the LA area, there was a big promotion at the Best Friend Shelter where they were doing $17 adoptions.
Well,
And my wife sent me a picture of this little black cat. She's like, look at that face, right? And I was like, well, she's gone. You know she's gone. Like, we saw the picture, so thousands of people saw this cat. Like, the cat's not there.
Right.
But we can just go take a look. Okay, sure. Because it so happens I got in a check that I wasn't expecting. So I had a little extra money, and then she's like, look at this cat. So I was like, okay, universe, I hear you.
right.
You know? I understand where
Now's
this
the
is
time.
going. Yeah, let's go take a look. So I didn't even tell the kids we were doing. We drive all the way there, and then I'm like, okay, so we're going in the shelter, but if there's any whining, any crying, we're leaving at that exact second. Because what I didn't want to happen was one loves this dog and one loves that cat, and then
Right.
there's tears, and
Right.
so I was like, I need you both to lock it down, or we're going home.
Yeah.
Right? So we walk in, and I'm just like, but so we saw this picture, and I show her the cat, and she's like, yeah, she's still here, and so's her brother.
Oh,
Wow.
And we're like, brother, and she's like, yeah,
that's
and
probably
also
why she was still there.
it's 2-for-1 adoptions this weekend, so you could adopt them both for $17. And on the inside, I'm like, this is 2 of God's creatures for $17. But I was like, all right, well, let's just go meet them. Let's make sure they're the right personality, because again, if they were too skittish or too like aggressive,
Right.
I mean, I expected them to be a little reserved around new people because they are cats. But you can kind of tell the difference of the like, I'm not too sure about you look versus the I'm terrified of you look versus the I want to eat your face look.
Right.
And I possess all of those looks, for the record. So,
So-
You
so
were
do
a
cats.
cat in a past life.
It's, so we go. Sure enough, they're there, and the like shelter helper like takes out the little girl, and we pet her, and then they take out the little boy, and we pet him. And I'm like, well, tell us about them, where they come from, and they're giving us the backstory. Like, he likes to play, and she likes to cuddle, which is also true. And while we're talking, this other woman and 2 little kids walk in, and her kids are like 5 and 3, right?
Mhm.
And so she looks at the cats that we're there with, and her eyes light up when she sees them.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, oh, I know what this is. And I literally turn back to the woman in mid-sentence. I'm like, well, we need to see what they're like. You know what? We'll take them.
Yeah.
Because you're
And
like, if
she-
I don't do it now, they're going to be gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, let's wrap
You
this
know,
up. And
those people are actually paid by the animal shelter to make you.
You got played. You got played. It was a plant. It was
Yes.
a plant.
Wouldn't that be a great tactic?
worked.
I know.
Yeah,
worked.
little
They-
competition. No, I get
very
it.
successful. They
Yep.
they moved 2 cats that day. Yes, it absolutely worked. Whatever they're paying the woman, definitely she earned.
And now you might
And
have
so-
some acting work coming because
Yep,
you can be
yep.
that. You can be
They're
those people.
SAG
going to
actors.
going to other shelters.
Okay,
I'm like, now I
That's the
understand.
cat
Come
you
in,
want. That would be awesome.
Oh, that's what we need.
Oh,
I'll take it.
that was good.
You're like,
There, mommy,
"Ruh."
that's the one. That's the one from the picture.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I'll take them all. I'll take all the cats. Like big dramatic stogie. Like, nah, give me
That's-
all the cats.
That's really nice of you not to split them up.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that they have each other just in general, because I'm actually glad that my kids have each other with their age bracket, that they can just kind of have fun and have shared experiences, and I kind of wanted that for the cats.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of, honestly, it's paying off, because they play with each other and they wrestle, and they're like, they're little like cat chirping and everything, which is nice, because I mean, historically, I'm a dog guy. I'm not anti-cat, but my mom hates cats. Hates cats.
My mom too.
Yeah, so I'd never had a chance to do it till now. So we're 10 days in, and she's walking along the windowsill over here. I might be getting revisited soon.
Sweet.
And they're like a night shift and a day shift. So she's out like all the time. Like if we're awake, she's awake. And my little boy hides the entire day. And about 9:30 he clocks in. And then he's a man of the people, and he comes out and he wants to like lay all over you and everything. But until then, he's like a vampiric cat. So if I go missing, one of the cats was a vampire. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, it's and it was
Well,
the.
I'm
it
glad
was
I
the
got
guy.
to talk to you before that.
Well, get revenge. That's what I need you to also get is revenge.
Revenge.
Jelly.
I accept
Yeah.
this
I'm gonna
quest.
get revenge on that actor and her 2 actor children who duped you into adopting those cats.
But to my greater good. To my greater good. Yes.
Yeah,
You know.
because now you got 2 familiars. You got 2 things you can cast spells through.
Exactly. I have companions now that we can launch coordinated attacks with. Exactly. Right. We're
So-
working on the fastball special. If I could just like fling it at somebody's face.
Does you have you played D&D with your girls? Have you tried to introduce that to them yet?
Kind of. I'm building. I let them play with the dice sometimes, and I'm building them up to the My Little Pony RPG.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is where we're going to start. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've tried to teach them things. Operative words being tried. Like I'm a martial artist. Like I have black belts in a couple different disciplines, and I've done a bunch of stuff.
Oh, no way,
And,
really?
You didn't
Yeah.
read his bio?
I did, but I'm acting surprised
But-
for our
Oh.
but the-
listeners.
because the people haven't. Shelley.
Shelly. Way to call me out, though. That was cool.
That's another note, Shelley.
Don't call out your co-host. Man.
Yeah. So but at this stage, it's more important to me that they enjoy things than be good at them. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like I'd rather they're just like, well, this was a fun time with Dad.
Right.
So, I don't push them too hard with the martial arts, and I haven't pushed them too hard with the gaming. We've done a little, but what they like most of all is we have a game I was about to be upset that I forgot the name of it, but my friend doesn't work at the company anymore, so I no longer feel the need to promote them.
Oh, all
But
right.
it's basically like Cards Against Humanity, but not gross. Like
Okay.
like a family-friendly
Okay.
version of Cards Against Humanity, if that makes sense.
Sure. Apples to
we
apples?
play a lot of that. Yeah. It's not apples to apples. It's I'll find it in a second.
All right.
It's only because they did my friend wrong. Now I doubly don't feel the
Oh.
need to promote.
Understood. But they
No,
like
No,
the-
one, I really have forgotten, and also I feel no
I know
need to
you
find
blocked it out.
But I like what you're saying about like trying to like because I'm that same thing. I don't want to push. My girls are 6 and 4, and I'm like I want you guys to play, but I don't want it to be like this is Daddy's thing that you must enjoy, or that's like the perfect way to push them away from something. So yeah, I'm like you. I'm kind of like just testing the waters, letting them play with the dice, and like let them like, all right, you guys want to play? Let's actually have them ask me to play.
Yep.
That's the secret.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they definitely get the pretend aspect of it, clearly, if you just watch them playing dolls and everything. And then every once in a while, it's like, let's go swimming. Well, let's see if our friends want to go swimming. And I like materialize with the 20-sider, and I'm all like, let us find out if your friends wish to go swimming. Have you persuaded them or have you not? Roll.
Nice.
And now they
Like,
want
no-
to play.
Yeah, now they want to play. There it is. Like you've cleared the dollhouse. Everybody's coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yep.
jumping in the pool. All right, cool. Well, let me know if you have more success and what worked for you when my girls get a little bit older. I want to try having more gaming sessions with them.
Again, I think as long as they just feel like they're having fun with Dad.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about, because now the older ones are about 10 years old, and I'm considering assembling some of her friends to play,
That's a good call.
which has the real makings of being a train wreck. So I've kind of just got it in my head that really we're just gonna have a little girl party.
Yes.
And if they happen to actually like do some stuff, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It won't be any harder DMing for them than with my normal group. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, right.
They heard
An
you.
army of 10-year-olds would be of comparable
Yep.
difficulty.
Same attention span.
We often say herding cats, and now you're doing both.
Herding cats.
Yes,
When
quite
I
literally.
worked as a bodyguard, people asked me what it was like, and I always described it was herding cats. That was my job.
Yeah.
And
And
now,
sometimes
as someone who
hurling
actually has
cats.
to herd cats, that is what it is.
And you
Yes.
hurl them at people that you need to
Or out of the
Both
bar.
protect. Or out of the
Hurling
bar.
and herding. Yes, it is both of those things. Yes.
Yes.
So
Depends.
was it Giant Hurler? Was the 3.5 class? Was that it? Giant Hurler?
Yeah, I remember that class. Yeah.
Yep. Where you could hit people with the planet. Yeah.
With the planet.
That's me as Min-Maxer. It was basically it required a very liberal interpretation of the rules,
So
but basically
You got to get a dungeon master on board.
you did because it basically you could hit, you could attack with any object, you could throw any object, and there wasn't like a hard stated limit. So there was some people like me that came along that were like, I'll hit him with the planet. I just like grab a mountain and I spin it and hit him with it. And it's all like, sure. But couldn't you imagine? Like Tiamat's like, rah, and you're like,
Boom.
you know, like it just pivots around and goes hurtling through space. You're like, I saved the world by hitting a dragon with a planet.
I loved your Foley work there. You're like,
There it goes. Yeah, I
works.
try to create a multimedia,
Yeah.
multi-sensory experience.
Very
transmedia.
much.
You're all over the place.
There it
Yeah.
is. Layers.
So I bet 3.5 was pretty good for you as being a min-maxer then. Was that your jam?
Yes and no, because people are like, it's not fun to do that. To me, it really is a thought experiment, honestly. It's not so much that I personally want to go out and smash everything by myself and watch the world burn. I like thinking through, like, how could I do that? Like I'm actually playing in a 3.5 campaign right now, and I have the storied druid planar shepherd, which I actually managed to pull that off, and I basically can't die. Like, we're level 12, and I think my AC is 58.
What?
Yeah, I'll send you the sheet. Hand to God, people of the interwebs. All the stories you read are
58?
true. Yeah. It's vow poverty, vow peace, vow nonviolence. All of that, like wisdom bonus to AC, like all the owl's wisdom and all that stuff. Yeah, like I basically can't get killed. But in exchange for that, though, and this
can't
does kind
attack.
of make you can't kill anything.
Yeah.
Can't kill anything. Then technically, I'm not supposed to let the group kill anything either.
Oh.
Although I try to kind of underplay that, though, because otherwise that's no fun for them. I'm like, why should the group be punished for my character concept?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so like occasionally I'll like wander off to investigate.
Yeah. Just like
Yeah.
pretend you're looking at your phone.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
equivalent.
exactly. I'm like, I heard something over here, and
Oh.
you guys see if there's monsters over there.
Gee, I
You know?
hope there's not.
Right?
you-
Oh no.
I come back and then you're like, oh, you killed stuff. Oh, I told you guys
Oh.
not
Only
to do
I were
that.
here to stop that.
You weren't supposed to kill the stuff, you guys. Yeah, so it's but it is an interesting thing to be able to see how all the pieces fit together. Because one thing I really like about 5th edition is 3.5 got out of hand by the law of unintended consequences, because they just meant well, where it was like one book is you get a bonus if you do this on Tuesday, and another book is you get a bonus if your character is female, and another book is you get a bonus if your enemy is wearing black, and another and quite honestly, someone like me comes along, and it's like, so I get plus 16d6 if I attack a dude named Bill on a mountain on Thursday. Great. You know?
Oh, the
And it's
Bill
like,
Slayer class. That was my favorite prestige class from 3.5.
oh, Bill. Yeah.
Builds
Yeah.
my whole character around that.
Exactly. I'll find you. He's like, little did you know, my name is William.
That was.
My one
Their
weakness.
one chance.
It's actually Bob. We need the
Bill's
Bob
brother.
Slayer class to do it.
The bobslayer. That actually sounds good.
Totally gonna write up a bobslayer after this now.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it should be spelled like the bobsled team or not.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree.
It is also canon now.
We said it on the podcast. So that means it's
There it
canon.
is.
Yeah.
The official
Done. And,
Dungeons and Dragons.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Well,
look at the
stop
walls.
saying
Like
that.
it doesn't get any more official than
Right?
that right there.
That's
Yeah, so
right.
it's in the lexicon. Yeah.
It is now.
Well, it's been awesome talking to you, man. I'm really excited about where Inkwell Society is going to go.
Yeah, me too.
And what class you're going to eventually be.
Me too, man. Look, I know, somewhat against Rudy's wishes, I have an idea.
Don't do
but
it.
I'm open to that idea being changed. Because even honestly, even from the very first episode, my character ended up being more boisterous and pleasant than I intended him to be. Honestly, it's just that was kind of how it all played out. So what I thought I was going to do has already changed from episode 1. So I might come back in a little while and be like, well, I'm not even going to give a theoretical class. I will tell you Scout's honor if it ends up going much different than I thought it was going to go.
All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm very curious.
And that's
Yes.
Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, right?
Wednesdays.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
And Sirens of the Realm
Yep.
is going to be on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific
Yes.
time. That's right.
So Sirens of the Realm is the one with the more talented, more beautiful cast, and Wednesday is the scummier down in the muck cast.
Aw.
Is us on Wednesday.
They definitely have
Although-
more feathery costumes. We'll say that. That's an objective
Yes.
thing you can say.
There's far more boas there, and Sig and Kai are both objectively very beautiful. So that's there's something for everybody on Maze Arcana. Really,
true.
that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
There's something for every palette on Maze Arcana.
That's
Perfect.
awesome. Where can people find, other than those shows, stuff you're doing? Yeah, you mentioned Ask I'm going to say it wrong, so I'll let you say it. What the show
yes.
title?
Well, you can follow me on all of the socials at B. Dave Walters, or lurking in Greg's mentions, and so it's BDAVEWALTERS. Yes, I am co-host of Ask Your Black Geek Friend on Geek and Sundry. We're in between seasons right now, but season 1 wrapped, and you can catch the whole thing on VOD. We talk a lot about gaming, but the show is basically about diversity and inclusion and the need to make room for everybody at the table is kind of what the show's about.
Nice.
We're doing, Inkwell Society, which just session 1 just aired, so there's still time for you to jump in at the
Yep.
beginning when you don't have to watch 600 hours of content, which is, again, twitch.tv/Maze Arcana. And the last thing that I'm doing right now at this exact second is We're Alive Frontier on Project Alpha, which is horror survival. And Satine and I are the only 2 people, as far as I know, that will have an informed opinion of is it worse and more painful to play with Rudy or Ivan Van Norman, because we've both suffered at their hands. Yes.
Oosh.
So
Yeah.
I wonder.
Now we got to put the 2 of you on an interview next and really hash it out.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the root of our character's relationship is our shared trauma. Exactly.
How you
Once
got
again,
through it.
it binds people together.
And I'm glad I did say, because I was going to say ask a black nerd friend, but it's black geek.
And it's your.
We are that, but in terms of branding,
Yeah.
it is ask your black geek friend. Yes.
Geeks
Yes.
and nerds, they're all very similar. It's, yeah.
So again, our mentions.
Yeah.
Not the same.
We just like to watch the world burn, I think, is what's
There it is. It's like a little bit of heartburn. Yeah, I do that, by the way. Like a lot of times, we did Lore Masters in particular, where we did right before Black Panther came out. Damien and I were on Lore Masters talking about Wakanda, and Critical Roles right after Lore Masters. And the food order, Ryan's phone was ordering for the food, and he's like, "Oh, I've got to coordinate the food for Critical Role." And I took his phone so he couldn't get it, and I was like, "Suffer, be hungry, Taliesin and Marisha." And of course, like the fans are like, "You can't do that, baby." And I'm
Now
like,
they won't be able
You
to
can't
eat.
make them hungry.
You're taking
Yes.
food from their mouths. How dare you?
Again, some of us just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Don't mess with critters.
That's us chaotic neutral folks around here. Yeah.
There it is. Well, again, that's handling my inner cat. I didn't knock the thing off the table out of spite. I knocked the thing off because it was on the table.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because it was there. Well, anyway, dude, it was great talking to you.
Curiosity.
I can't believe where that hour just went. That was
I have
like
so many
super
more
fast.
questions too. We didn't even get to the motivational speaking part.
I know, right? So that means we
You
have
know-
to have you back on.
I was about to say I have a solution. We'll just have to do this again. There it is.
Yes, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Good luck with Inkwell and everything you're doing, and we'll talk more soon.
Just thank you guys for having me on here. Look at
You
this.
are
This is an achievement unlocked. I've done it. So there it is.
There it is.
I feel better about myself.
You should,
I
because
do.
you get to do this all the time. There
I'm
it is.
done now.
Yeah,
You're
you're classing up the joint.
Not
over
getting
there.
better.
Now
Not
she
getting
just has
better,
to
though.
fight someone.
That,
Oh,
well,
yeah, I gotta
got
fight.
bad news. I got bad news for you, Greg. Yeah, right. So I know where this is headed.
I'm going down.
It's like suddenly gonna cut to that like multi-screen thing, the like technical
Rock'em
difficulty.
sock'em roll. Just as my fist just freezes in.
Flurry of blows.
Oh, is it Friday at 4 or Monday at 4 o'clock already?
It's time to fight.
Time to throat punch Greg.
All right. Well, awesome. Thanks, Dave. We'll have you on soon.
Yes,
Again.
thank you.
Thank you guys. Great day.
All
You
right.
too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Sweet. Let's do a little quick Twitch goodbye.
He's the best.
Hello, Twitch people. So I did it. I actually ended this before 4 o'clock so that we could reset for Morden Caden's Mayhem.
Yes!
We're going to do that right now. Shelly is going to take down her opponent.
I'm so scared.
Are you? Do you think?
I didn't do a lot of
Matt
studying.
Warren is going to be able to. Oh, wait. He said he was studying all weekend long.
He didn't tell me.
Well, in the meantime,
kinda promised
we are
each
going
other
to
we
play. Well, you want maybe? Oh, so you're going to be like a pacifist type thing? That makes sense.
Well,
That's super entertaining. So we are going to roll that, but we're going to roll a recap of what happened last week with Emi Taji and Adam Lee duking it out. You'll learn all about that right now. But thank you guys for bearing with us here for the last two Dragon Talk interviews. We're going to play that now and then get set up for the next throwdown.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.